in these short series, you really cannot draw too many implications because, let's be honest, we all love the West Indies, but everybody knew what the outcome of the series was going to be. And I thought this awareness was reflected in the decision-making by both sides. Certainly, I thought India's decision-making was aligned to the perceived strength of the opposition. Some of the decisions India took may not have been taken against tougher opposition. So you got the feeling that this was a confident side, occasionally erring into overconfidence, and you saw the result of that here in Delhi. But we'll talk about all that in just a minute. What were the two key decisions? One was declaring in Ahmedabad. The conditions were helping India. It was clear that it was going to be difficult. But most teams, or even India against most other teams, would say, let me build a lead of about 400. Look, I've got loads of time. The game actually ended late-ish on the third day. So they had a lot of time to make that lead 400. I promise you, it was Australia, it was England, it was someone else, you'd have gone on to set 400, maybe even 450. What about when we came to Delhi? First of all, the declaration at 518, I thought they might bat on a little longer, go to 550, 560, but that's okay. 518, then you've been kept out in the field for 80 overs. And yet India chose to enforce the follow-on with a lead of 270. Inherent to that decision-making was, look, we're going to roll them over anyway. Doesn't matter. We're playing 6 bowlers. We're playing 3 spinners. We can use our 2 fast bowlers in tandem. If required, we can use Nitish Reddy. Don't worry. We saw at times that as the track slowed, the bowling was losing its fizz a little bit. The moment the West Indies started to build a partnership, there were long periods in which the Indian bowling looked ineffective and made you wonder just what it would be like against far tougher opposition, where the batters would not almost give away their wickets sometimes. You saw that with John Campbell. Campbell's made 115. He plays a reverse sweep. Joe Root won't do that. Steve Smith won't do that. So sometimes I thought India got out of jail, but the decision-making was clearly aligned to what you thought was the strength of the opposition. The fact that India were willing to do that suggested to me that whenever he had a decision to make, Shubman Gill took the more aggressive option, took the more confident options. I liked some of the things that Shubman Gill did. I don't know how much of it was Gill, how much of it was Gambhir, but I loved the fact that they're trying to build a side and make people feel at home. They don't need Nitish Reddy in this team. They could easily have gone in with Devdutt Padikkal as the extra batter, but they realized that in course of time, maybe a year and a half down the line, they're going to need a player like Nitish Reddy. They don't want to throw him in there a bit raw like we saw on his first 2 tours. So let him start to feel Test match cricket. Let him understand Test match cricket. So we'll send him at number 5. In this Indian team, between 5 and 8, anybody could have batted anywhere. What did they do in Ahmedabad? They sent Dhruv Jurel out, as if to say to Jurel, you are a replacement here for Rishabh Pant. So you will do, and we will ask of you everything that we would have asked of Rishabh Pant. Where does Pant bat 5? Jurel, you will bat at 5, even though Jadeja, you're averaging 82 in 2025. But Jurel, we like you at number 5. So show faith in Jurel. Then Jadeja comes in. He gets 100. Jadeja has a magnificent series. So I like the fact that players are being thrown into situations where they're made to feel at home. And I thought that was a big plus. I thought they erred a little on the side of overconfidence. As we saw in this Delhi test, I thought they could have batted on a little longer, just played West Indies out of it completely, set them 450, 500 to win. Backfired, did it? It could have. It didn't, but it kept India out in the field for 200 overs. And just as we saw after Eden Gardens 2001, we saw a trend towards not enforcing the follow-on at all. I don't think there's a follow-on coming for a long time from India after what we saw in Delhi. The big plus was the return of Kuldeep Yadav. It was a good call actually, because it would have been tempting, and India have done that in the past. India have gone in with Akshar Patel saying on these slightly crumbly pitches, it's always better to have a finger spinner who hits the deck, turns the ball a little bit, he'll get it to scoot through, and Akshar Patel in India has pretty good numbers. They said, no, we need to start nurturing Kuldeep Yadav again. They picked Kuldeep and he gave you 4 wickets in an ensemble cast that we saw in Ahmedabad, and then he picked up 5 on a very slow surface. He had to adapt, he had to bowl quicker, But he picked up 5 and 3 to finish with 12 wickets for the series, would have given his confidence a great boost. So I thought the return of Kuldeep Yadav, after he bowled magnificently in the Asia Cup, was a big plus. The use of Bumrah was interesting because there were times when I thought that Bumrah was bowling well within himself. And I wondered, I said, look, he didn't really have a great Asia Cup. Is there something the issue? Then you realize, look, these were very, very slow pitches. So he probably wasn't letting himself go. These were more reverse swing pitches. But from time to time, he would come up and deliver a searing spell. We saw that twice in Delhi. And that suggested to me that, yeah, maybe this is not 100% Bumrah as he was, but he's picking his moments out when to deliver, and that is what has always made Bumrah special. There were 700s. It was always expected that in this series, the batters would fill their boots and say, you know what, I'm going to play in England, maybe a year and a half down the line, I'm going to go to New Zealand. I don't know what conditions I'm going to get. I've got these conditions, let me fill my boots. And 7 batters got hundreds. Sai Sudarshan almost got 100. His 87, the second innings score, would just make him feel a little bit more at home. Much like we saw with Nitish Reddy, look, Sai Sudarshan is a little bit on the edge because he had 7 innings without scoring too much coming into the Delhi test. So the opportunity to Sai Sudarshan, the fact that he got runs, even as it turns out, the fact that he took that free catch of John Campbell, all that will make him feel a lot better. Happy for Mohammad Siraj. They used him well. He got wickets with a new ball. So sometimes when you come into India, you can have Siraj thinking, look, I really don't have much to do. The spinners are going to take the new ball. So got a lot of bowling in. So Siraj feeling good. In general, I thought at the end of the series, everybody in that Indian team was feeling good about having performed. Just like they would have liked not to have spent so much time in the field against the West Indies. I also got the feeling from the utterances in the press conference, both from Roston Chase and from Darren Sammy, used some pretty strong words that the West Indies felt that lost the series before the series started. And that is why what I saw in the second innings in Delhi, with batting all the way down, everyone hanging in there. Campbell gets 100, Hope gets 100. They show that they want to be in there. And even the tail batting well. I like that determination. And I'd like to see a little bit more of that from the West Indies. But that was good to see. But you get the impression now that this West Indies side, when they come to India, they know they're not going to win. So World Test Championship points had to be earned. They were earned. If quantum of wins could qualify for more points, well, you would have got more points as well. So that is done and dusted. There's more tests coming up against South Africa. You'd want to win both. I'm going to venture to say in Kolkata and in Guwahati, you might have black soil pitches. I think those pitches will be a lot more spin friendly. But that's just a view from now on. India go to Australia. We'll take a little pause, 2-3 days, and then we'll bring you a preview of a white ball series featuring 2 of the best teams in the world. Cheers.
So thank you for watching and do subscribe to this channel.